Hello everyone. Hello Sage. How are we all doing tonight? So, we are here for presumably the rest of Ayakashi Akashi. I don't really remember how much is left, but I think we're going to be able to finish it up tonight. So, for anybody who may have missed the first stream, this is a supernatural mystery game, a supernatural mystery visual novel. We play as the teacher of a class of middle schoolers that is essentially being haunted by a spirit. And the spirit is most likely one of them, so they're trying to figure out who it is. Alright, so right now we're all doing research, and we're gonna go around and talk to some of the students. We didn't do that last time, right? Yeah, we're good. Alright, Zero and Haito are talking over there. Let's talk. What's this? Were you worried for Haito too, Mr. Yoinara? I guess worry is applicable, sure. It's fine. I've calmed down a bunch. Whew, I'm really not cut out for this. Hey, Yuki fainted too. In fact, the strange thing here is how the rest of them can bear it. Yes, indeed. Some of our classmates even think it was a dream. Plus, there are many of them who have always been interested in this sort of occult business. Yeah, even back in grade school, we did stuff like tests of courage and expeditions in the night. Sounds dangerous. Some would say you learn danger by getting hurt, that it's experience. In reality, well, I can't handle scary stuff, but I liked sharing that tense excitement with everyone. Actually, when Zero's there, it's wild how relieved I feel. You always did send me out in front. Yeah, Zero, it's because you're huge. So you don't know any fear? I find people who abruptly pick fights with me all day more scary, painful, and unpleasant than anything. That's rough. To think, when Zero himself is so nice, like he even slows his pace to match mine. You lack stamina, after all. Walking is tiring, okay? And how does that work out for you when you're going to concerts? When it comes to that, I've got a hollow leg. Or an extra pair of legs, I guess? So, in addition to break a leg, there's also spare 2 legs? You're really mixing your sayings here. You know, Zero, you're pretty muscular. Do you work out? Indeed, it's important to build strength. You almost always slack off during swimming lessons in PE, Haito. I don't teach secondary subjects, so I wasn't aware. You're a slacker when it comes to all those, eh? That's a mean way to put it. I've got terrible asthma, so I can't push myself too much. Ah, I see. Can't help that. It got worse at one point. He was in the hospital for a time. Yeah, I never expected it to get so bad so quickly. Was it some other sickness to blame? I wonder if I got cursed during a test of courage. If that were it, I should have gotten cursed too, right? No, I mean... maybe? Ah, Mr. Yoinara, do you dislike the occult? Dislike? When you put it like that, maybe. Whoa. But it sure sounds like your job has to do with that stuff. That sender thing. Hey, which part don't you like? What do I dislike about the occult? I don't know, chat. What do we think Mr. Yoinara dislikes about the occult? How it's intentionally threatening, or how the truth of it is unclear? What do we think? I mean, this decision doesn't really matter, but I think that's why I'm throwing it to chat, because it doesn't matter that much. Chat decides how we play Mr. Yoinara. That's how we do these visual novels. The truth? Alright, so we dislike how the truth of it is unclear. I wonder, maybe, how I'm not sure of what it really is? Eh? But there's even humans who I don't really comprehend. Indeed, dubious strangers are scary. In grade school, did you ever meet a ghost during a test of courage or anything? Did I ever? I feel like there were things along those lines, but after the fact, it typically starts to feel like they were just imagined. Yeah, that's how it goes. The scarier part for me was when my mom found out I snuck out at night and got mad. I too was yelled at upon being found out. Here in Japan, they say fathers are as scary as earthquakes, thunder, and fires, but I suppose it's an era of mothers now. What about you, Mr. Yoinara? Is your wife scary? Hey, I'm single. My grandmother was harsh, though. We're the same in having someone who's frightening when angered, then. You may have conflicts from time to time, but try not to put too much worry on people who are thinking of you. That's true. Everybody's gotten a little less mischievous since they entered middle school. Personally, you still seem pretty mischievous to me. You may only know us from middle school on, Mr. Yoinara, but trust that this is much preferable to our grade school selves. The hardships their grade school teachers faced must be immeasurable. Got it. If this is them being better, I don't want to imagine what Rokuro would have been like in grade school. Oh, to have a scary wife, if only. Oh, so true. Alright, Riku. Riku and Rokuro are talking over here. What's up, Yoi-chan? Oh, I was just curious what you two were talking about. Well, I was asking him about earlier. And like I was saying, nothing fun happened or anything. Whether you did anything fun or not is not what I was asking. You live so seriously, Riku-chan. Isn't it better to do fun stuff in life? If making people feel terrible is your idea of a fun time, I reserve the right to despise it. Aw man, that's a shame. 'Cause I don't hate you, Riku-chan. But I take it you don't like me either. Oops, you got me. If you keep that nonsense up, even Zero's good graces will run out someday. Hey, that bridge will burn when we get to it. I truly can't understand why you two get along. I can't figure it out either. Why you and Karuta-chan get along, that is. True. I believe Karuta only recently transferred here in first year. I mean, you can't just ask a thing like that. What can I say? Karuta and I, we suit each other. Then that's what I'll say about me and Zero, too. After what I saw earlier, it's hard to just agree with that. Do you two fight? It's mostly just Zero getting mad at me. I've never really had complaints about Zero myself. You're putting "I reserve the right to despise it" in your list of quotes. It's a good line! Must be rough for Zero. Almost makes me pity him. Yeah, I gotta admit, he's a real softie. I suppose I have similar feelings about Karuta, though. Say, Yoi-chan, what do you think of these sorts of inescapable relationships? Well, that was sudden. Inescapable relationships. Hopeless but ultimately good, or indescribable? Couldn't even answer. What do we think? you would think. Also, can I just say I'm very glad that the background music keeps playing during decision times in this game, because oh my god, it feels so awkward when the music cuts out for choices in Fate Stay Night. Ultimately good? Alright. They are hopeless, but ultimately good. They're sort of hopeless, but I believe they can be for the best. Uh-huh. Yep, I agree that they're for the best. Hard to put them into words, but good even so. I guess that's true. Come to think of it, have you even got friends, Yoi-chan? Every time I see the way Rokuro talks to Yoinara, I'm just like, how are you getting away with talking to your teacher like this? That's a rude question. I've got people I go drinking with. Though, since becoming a teacher, that's gotten more uncommon. Huh, so you've got no friends here? Poor you. What about the other teachers? They keep their distance, oddly. Or maybe they're concerned for me. Yeah, you sure do give unapproachable as a first impression, Yoi-chan. He's right. Though, talking with you like this, you just strike me as a worn-out, middle-aged guy. That's a bad impression in its own way. But still, like you said earlier, Karuta and I have only been friends starting in middle school. It hasn't really been long enough to say our relationship is inescapable. Right, that's true, but Karuta was quick to fit in. There's only a handful of kids his age, and many of the people here are kind, with some exceptions. Yoinara must be the ghost because this child murdered him with his words! There's some cruel kids too, yeah, like you. Come to think of it, you also transferred in the middle of grade school, didn't you, Rokuro? Yep, in 5th grade. Did you now? Good job fitting in. He seemed like a quiet type at first, then at some point he started to talk, and it all went downhill from there. No, rather, it's like he was chanting incantations of some sort. Hey now, that was just proof that we were getting along. Thinking of it that way, maybe the class as a whole is in inescapable relationships. Yeah, so something they established in the first half of the game is that this is a teeny tiny village. So this class, this is all of the students in their entire grade in the entire village. And there's like maybe a dozen of them. So they've been stuck with each other their entire lives, basically. We're a tight-knit community. I see. All told, the two have a lot to say about it, but they don't seem to think badly of each other. Alright, Mino! Kashima and Mino are talking over here. Oh, Mr. Yoinara, you want to play too? It wasn't my intent to be playing. What were you up to? Reading these books on yokai. Even besides our goal, they're just very intriguing. Lots of pictures, fun stuff. They're not manga, you know. The inescapable vibes of small-town relationships? Exactly. Is Mr. Yoinara an Ayakashi too? No, senders are different from Ayakashi. You do have a slightly different air from your average human, Mr. Yoinara. I am uncertain about how I should interpret that. Well, but my grandmother was at times called a demon child. I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. I'm sorry. Nah, it's fine. It's getting that response that feels more iffy than anything. But not many heroes of justice take on human forms. I've got no connection with the kinds of heroes you're talking about, but is that meant as support? Wait, but Ayakashi don't take human forms either. Maybe she wasn't particularly trying to support me then. I always took you for a realist, Kashima. The sort who would just snort at this sort of stuff. Look, even I've got curiosities and interests. Who doesn't? I even have some degree of interest in this sort of occult folklore. Only as interesting stories, of course. It's not like I believe it at all. Mino believes, 'cause she sees things. You can see, huh? I have heard animals are better than humans at seeing such things. Wait, but Mino's not an animal. Mino, I believe you only came here for middle school, so you don't know much about this area, do you? Don't know about the world below. What are you, a god? Hey, so what was Kashima like before? Me? I was no different from now, I think. I've only known you since middle school myself, Kashima. People who've known me since grade school do tell me I look different. Oh, in what sense? It used to be short. My hair, I mean. Though my bangs are still short now, since they get in the way. I always figure people like Yuki must have a hard time taking care of their hair. Right. When you put it that way, I can understand. Mino's bangs get in the way too, but she can't cut them good like Kashima. Don't just make it one big cut. Straighten it out a little at a time. Personally, I'm curious about what you used to be like, Mr. Yoinara. Me? Well, I wasn't born here and came here later in life. Also, my previous job kept me busy, so I was a workaholic. You work hard on teaching, too. Sure do. With you as my class, I'm busy every day. I see. Then, Mr. Yoinara, do you ever regret changing? Regret? Well, do we think he feels any regret for changing jobs? Now you're just thinking about how you convinced your coworker to shave her head? It's just hair! It'll grow back! Hair decisions are temporary. Experiment, go wild. Don't? Alright. Mr. Yoinara does not regret his choices. Nah, I always make choices based on what seems right in the moment. I try to avoid regretting it. That's right. Yes, it's your path to choose in the moment. Looking ahead when you walk is important. The reason I changed didn't come from myself, but rather had to do with other people. Still, the worst thing to do would be to put the blame on someone else. Feeling troubled? Mino will hear any troubles. No, I'd like to handle it myself as much as possible. I don't believe it's a good thing to be over-reliant. It can feel very freeing to just chop it off. Exactly! I feel like you're always giving quite an effort, Kashima. And Mino? You are too, Mino. In all sorts of ways. That's right. Forcibly pushing on by yourself makes it difficult to tell if you're on the right path or not. I bet you have a lot of hardships yourself, Mr. Yoinara. Being an adult must be tough. Adults are more fragile than you might think. After all, things break the longer you keep using them, right? Mr. Yoinara, are you breaking down? Nah, I'm okay. But I need to take care to periodically examine myself so that doesn't happen. Indeed, humans need maintenance or else they'll fall apart. Mino will maintain ants too! I feel like Mino's already got one foot on a runaway express train. Alright, Yuki! Iya and Yuki are talking over here. When you first got your hair cut really short, you felt so much euphoria. Wish you had chopped it all off sooner. Yeah. Mr. Yoinara. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to intrude on anything. There's just some time until class is over, so I thought we could talk. Would you consider yourself able to come into a girl's conversation, Yoi-chan? Can't say I'm confident about that. Even if you were confident enough to say yes, that'd be pretty startling. It's amazing how you never run out of things to talk about, Iya. Really? I just read magazines and watch TV, and come across lots of things I want to talk about with people. There's lots of places here that seem to have tasty food. You got that right, even though a bunch of people have left since that incident. It makes me wonder how they keep their businesses running. Yeah, well, the streets around Kantenbashi are still busy. Plus, it's just fewer people. There's still buses and trains. So it's not that big a hindrance to people's livelihood, I guess. More and more stores are closing, though. I wonder if there's a way things could get busier here again. But I like when there's not as many people. It lets me relax. Because there's no one else around, Iya-chan. I can play lots with you and everyone else. Yuki! Yeah, you're so right. I like you too, Yuki! Aww. Sure enough, it's extremely difficult to intrude on this conversation. Is there anyone you like, Mr. Yoinara? Oh, I'm kinda curious. Like, Kono-chan's really pretty, right? Konohazuku, the music teacher? I mean, she is, and a good teacher, too. But that's merely what I think. I don't especially feel anything. Plus, she might be afraid of me. Why? Yeah, you do seem to be feared by most people but us. But if you think about it, you can study, and you're pretty athletic, Yoi-chan. Yeah, sure. A dependable guy like you should be more popular, I feel like. Are you sure it isn't because you don't smile much? Ah! That's the ticket! You gotta do like this. Smile, Yoi-chan! Well, this is sudden. Oh, God. Oh, does he try to force a smile or not? Oh my God. Book it, the students are shipping the teachers. Okay, I'm gonna be real. When I was in middle school, we absolutely tried to set our teachers up with each other. Hi Celeste, welcome. Cramps are really bad, so you're gonna be lurking. That is okay. Enjoy your lurk and I hope you feel better. Alright, he can't possibly force a smile. It's hard to smile just because you're telling me to. Really? I think people would be friendlier if you smiled, though. Do I really smile that little? What? Were you not actually aware of it? Even when you're mad, you don't feel very mad, Mr. Yoinara. Yo, Yoinara with the flat effect! Yes, well, as a teacher, isn't that proper? No, when you're, like, quietly angry, that's actually scarier. Then again, like, it seems people in our generation, or at least our class, aren't that bothered by it. I wonder if that's the reason it keeps reoccurring. Maybe there are just a lot of us who are kind of self-centered. Everyone has a clear idea of their opinions and what they like to do. I might be a little jealous. You don't, Yuki? I want to sleep forever. Yeah, that's not a subject we can talk out. Well, even if they cause some trouble, our classmates aren't bad kids. Probably. I consider them to be vicious, even if they lack ill intent. Were you mischievous as a kid, Yoi-chan? My grandmother was a harsh person, so I was obedient to avoid her wrath. Ooh, then maybe being scary when you're angry is effective? Then again, when you get scary, even I think it's a little much. I just want people other than us to know you're a good guy, Yoi-chan. It's never felt like a big deal to me. You don't need to worry about it. Yuki's you when you were in high school. But I wanna, just, like, for the sake of my own feelings. I can't stomach people being afraid of you just because of what's on the surface. I'm made plenty happy just by the fact that you feel that way. Thanks. Looks like Iya-chan still can't accept it. First things first, I'm surprised she trusts me that much. Yeah, she's really concerned for you, Mr. Yoinara. Because you're a good teacher. You don't intrude on things that she doesn't want brought up. But that's... well, okay, fine. Tina! Sesuna and Tina are talking over here. Oh-ho! If it isn't Professor Yoinara! Sesuna and Tina. That's a rare combination. Oh, I believed us to have a considerable companionship. Indeed, I suspect you would say that no matter who I was with, Mr. Yoinara. Well, but if you were chatting it up with Rokuro, I might think there'd be a cataclysm on the horizon or something. I must agree with you there. If you ask me, that might be a case of disliking those who remind you of yourself. And I will not deny that, either. Humans are strange creatures, oft fighting with one another due to none other than their own resemblance. You say that like you've had a sudden revelation, Tina. Well, I also believe you view things in a more objective way than others. I could say the same of Sir Rokuro. It's like you're always taking a step back to observe the full picture. Though, Sir Rokuro's proficiency is then proceeding to make attacks on people. To think one's mouth could endlessly shout such sarcasm targeted at so many people. I can respect it, in a way. I think you're no slouch yourself. Yes, but I believe you couldn't do that without knowing what kind of person you're dealing with. I'm envious as can be of that supreme level of insight. Come to think of it, Werewolf is a game that places emphasis on that. Oh yeah, we did play a game of Werewolf with a few students in the first half of this. This is something you've tried to stress to your students. You have boundaries and they are important. Yep, it's an important lesson to impart. Especially on, like, kids around middle school age. Indeed. And such is why Sir Rokuro and Lady Tina were so powerful. There were also numerous players, then, that were all too easy to figure out. Love Tina's drip. Yeah! Madam Kashima is quite emotional, and Sir Zero may appear hard to read, but his expressions tell all. So Tina's the daughter of, like, a major conglomerate's CEO, basically. She's like a rich heiress type. Even Madam Sesuna tends to show with her face when she's feeling tense. Sir Rokuro never trusts anyone to begin with, almost as if he's given up on relating with others. Could something have happened regarding your own relationships, Mr. Yoinara? What makes you think that? You intentionally... or no, I think unconsciously. It appears as if you're holding back your expressions of emotion. And from the pause in your last statement, I wonder if you aren't somewhat aware. Whoa, would you look at that? Where can one buy such a keen eye? It may be called my pedigree, for I must put on the perfect look in my dealings with other people. I'm good at investigating, but it's hard to know how to teach myself such powers of conjecture. Humans aren't creatures one can define and divide into some number of categories, after all. I suppose I should first start by knowing their own self, or I suppose one should first start by knowing their own self well before they turn to others. Your own self. Indeed. So, Mr. Yoinara, could I ask you to offer your services as a teacher? When one confronts themselves, where should they be looking, do you think? when confronting yourself. And the parts you like or the parts you dislike. I do believe the answer is obvious, but at least the answer I would choose is jumping out at me, but she's serving that they wouldn't let me wear my Lolita cord, so I wore the accessories. Yeah. Parts you dislike? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. At the parts you don't like, I guess? So, you're also acquainted. I do believe that means she's complimenting you. Find many things you dislike about yourself. This is what Father told me. He said to even treat others as mirrors, and know yourself as best you can. I get it. That must be a cause in disliking those similar to you, too. It strengthens one mind, the longer you can look at yourself. It does seem like your spirit would be the first to give in. And when you grow accustomed to peering within your own depths, you naturally start to see what others are hiding and what they dislike. For people's very natures reside in those depths. I see. I've learned a lot. Haven't you, Mr. Yoinara? I mean, it might prove necessary for this situation, but... Ah, that's right. If I might append something to my observations about Mr. Yoinara earlier, I might even think that he's given up on himself. Given up, you say? Sorry, but you got that wrong. I'm more unwilling to resign myself than you think. Ah, that's too bad. Even I have a ways to go, perhaps. Incidentally, I wasn't aware that my tenseness showed on my face. Indeed, but it is difficult to be aware of actions you do subconsciously or on instinct. What words would stimulate your depths in which situations? Reaffirm that, and werewolf is a piece of cake. I get it. I've learned much from this. Now the next time I play werewolf, I'll pulverize, scandalize, and mesmerize. Is scandalizing really necessary? You make a good point. I look forward to the next time we can contend, Madame Cessina. Yes, absolutely. I have my honor to uphold, and so I refuse to lose in a game of my own suggestion. Was it you who spread the game, Cessina? I've brought in pretty much all of the tabletop games you see played at school. There are many others, so I encourage you to try them yourself. You aren't too busy during summer break, are you? When I'm in the classroom, maybe. Then I will speak to you then. If I kept playing games like Werewolf, I could see myself getting tired out by all the suspicion. And actually, wasn't bringing games into school supposed to be banned? Oh, Cessina. And lastly, Karuta and Naki. Hey, it's Mr. Yoinara. What's up? Oh, I've got time until I can leave, so I just thought I'd take it easy. Well, I was just talking with Naki here. Yep, nothing interesting though. That lockpicking of yours was pretty amazing though. So, like, do you do your own stunts? I'll do a certain level of action, but not anything that could really hurt. So Naki here is an actor. So you do refuse in that case. Yeah, I'd hate not being able to attend school more than anything. Even still, we haven't been able to hang out as much as old times. What kicked things off for you? An audition? Nah, I was scouted, while I was out somewhere a bit far from here. Whoa, amazing! While you're working so hard, I'm over here like this food's tasty. I'd still call that happiness. I've been so busy lately, often I've had to get by on, like, a sandwich from a convenience store. Ah, is that right? That'd be rough for me. Well, once this case is settled, let's all go out for something tasty. Karuta-kun, I'm guessing your recommendation would be a tempura place again. I mean, hey, they added a bunch of them in the past few years. Do you have any favorite foods, Naki? Huh? Me? I'm not picky. Is there anything I especially like? Maybe strawberries? Sounds like the answer an idol'd give. About the most I can do for meals is eat a bunch of strawberries, so... Oh, then maybe you should get a giant parfait at a cafe. Do they make giant parfaits? Yeah, they're super huge. The other day, it took 5 of us boys working together to take one down. I bet Zero can eat plenty, though. Nah, well, with sweets, it's bad to ingest too much at once. Am I gonna be okay after that? Sure, the flavor was good. Makes you want to eat till you drop. I was wondering what kinds of fun could be had in a rural town, but it sounds like you do plenty. No karaoke or bowling or anything, though. As long as it has a train station, I think it's fine. Good point. Karuta-kun, do you have any dreams for your future? My old man always pesters me to inherit the family business. I don't see it happening, though. Just realized you don't know what Angelic Pretty's Halloween print looks like for this year. Surprised Candy hasn't mentioned it. I see. I don't know any... I assume that's a Lolita brand. I don't actually keep up with that stuff. I see. We're too immature to resist our parents still. If it looks cool, you should drop a picture in the server, though. I do appreciate the aesthetic of Lolita stuff. It's just not something I keep up with. Oh yeah? What about Mr. Yoinara? You know, dreams and stuff. My dreams? Yeah, tell us. I'm kind of curious myself. Dreams. To master your current job, or to do something somewhere else? To do something else elsewhere. It's one of the big sweet Lolita brands? Ah, I see. What do we believe Mr. Yoinara's dream is? Current job? Alright. I mean, I've got my hands full just watching you guys. It might be hard to call it a dream, but maybe my goal's to master the job I'm doing now. Maybe. Huh, what a nice thing to say. Yeah, I'd like to keep taking lessons from you too, teacher. Let's see, if I weren't being locked in by my family... I might aspire to being a teacher myself. I see. You can generally accomplish anything, I find, so I think you'd be highly valued here. There could definitely stand to be a few more teachers around here, yeah. There's a lot to the job, and it's physically and mentally demanding. I respect those who do it myself. Sorry for the delayed response. You were asking Candy about this year's print? That is A-okay. I think Riku's better at teaching, though. Maybe the best of us? Well, but I have to say that Mr. Yoinara is great as well. He always gets to the gist of things for me. Oh, is that what you're doing when you stay after class? It's probably just my nature, but I've always sought efficiency. Wow, can you cook too? There's this handy thing they call meal delivery these days. Oh, he just like me for real. Okay, say no more. Man, but really, there sure are a lot of great restaurants around. It makes you want to eat real bad. Karuta's just talking about food non-stop. Granted, Naki's diet is cause for concern. Alright, this isn't what I want. Alright, let us proceed. Because I don't quite think there's anything else. Hello? Time to go? Yes. Class is over. Well then, I'm gonna go. See you later! Now then, time for the usual. Just as I started towards my destination, something made me stop in my tracks. Yay, the kids are back! Mister! Where you going, mister? You can't go anywhere, right, mister? Huh. You kids. Sorry, but I'm in a hurry. Is this our first time meeting? Eh? It's not, is it? Might not be the first time, maybe. What's with the vague answer? No, but if time was rewound, this should be my first time meeting these kids. If that implies they kept their memories, then... Hey, you two... Huh? While I was thinking, the children vanished again, like before. Seriously, what are those kids? Forget it, I need to hurry. You again, Enju? A man wearing a fox mask and a police uniform spoke to me with a sigh. Hey, Asagiri. As usual, let me dig around a little. I don't see the old lady with you today. 'Cause it's an urgent matter. While you're at it, write something up to give me permission to enter the archives. Even if you used to be one of us, you really ought to follow procedure. Can't I spend one of the favors I earned while I was active? I've got, 64 or so left, I bet. Sheesh, I get it. Get in, do your business, then get out. What a closed-minded man. Go hit your head on a block of tofu and die. Damn it, this is such an unlucky day. Hey, I was just talking to myself. Don't sweat it. Sure. Well then, I'll feel free. These archives were where the police kept their records on any past incidents. Besides public newspapers, they also kept the sort of information that gets suppressed from the public. I'm looking for cases in recent years where students or kids around that age had a serious illness or even died. It'd be fastest if you could bring them straight to me. Don't push your luck. Normally, you wouldn't even get let in here. Figures. Plus, more than half of these have the names redacted. The stuff here does, sure. But even I won't go helping you out further without a word to my superiors. Guess not. Considering that, there's still an awful lot of secretive cases down here. You can't govern with nice words alone. Nope. This would be a lot faster if these files just had the names. If that's the case, then you can tell me the names of those you expect you might find. I won't say I know everything, but I believe I've got a handle on at least the materials in here. Huh. You still spend your days reading through all this stuff? It comes in handy at times like this. Would it kill you to compliment me instead? The time you spend reading materials is time spent neglecting your duties. But anyway, this is a race against time. There are 12. I'll list them all. 12? That sure is a lot. Don't ask my reasons. I can't even afford any time to explain. Got it. After I listed all of the students' names, Asagiri dug through files silently. Then he returned to me with a single bundle of papers. This is about the only one that sounded familiar. Someone drowned in a river, leaving them in critical condition? Right. The kid's name was Riku Takaso. I see. So... wait, hold on. This article is from 6 years ago. That's right. It says he was age 8 at the time. Some kids grow up fast, but surely you can always tell the difference between an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old. 14, huh? That would be pushing it. Well, this still might be a clue. Also, right. There's not much info left here, but I've heard that something went down related to the Etupirka conglomerate. Might be something in the locked room there, but I don't have the authority to open it. I see. And besides the near drowning I showed you, I know I've heard a couple of those names before. Is that true? Yeah, I just feel like there was something, but I'd have to check to be sure. Well, I'm curious about that too, but I'll go searching for cases of serious illness first. I'll assist. Seems that's it for today. Still, even narrowing it down so much, there sure are a lot of incidents. Enough that I'm out all day sometimes. There are many accidents, but suicides have been an issue in recent years. That's rough. Oh. Do you know any incidents involving twins around age 5? A boy and a girl? Now that's a bizarrely specific scope. Twins alone are rare, but I don't know of any recent cases where any fell ill or died. Right, that's fine. These ones are more important anyway. Though, I bet my notes will disappear tomorrow, so I better memorize as much as I can. What does that mean? Just ignore that for me. If I find any info related to those familiar names you told me, I'll send it over at a later date. Within the day would be best. Toss things my way as soon as you learn them. What's got you in such a hurry? I've got a lot going on, alright? If you insist, I won't probe too deeply. The things you do are on such a level that we'd never dare stick our heads into them anyway. You've got a wonderful talent for knowing what's what, you know that? Well, sorry to intrude. See you. Alright, I'm back. Huh. You're all looking more obedient than I expected. That's because I was keeping watch of them. I mean, I doubt many of us would dare attempt to cause a big stir in a situation like this. What were you doing, teacher? Just looking up incidents in recent years where kids around your age got seriously ill or were considered dead. I see. You mentioned that Ayakashi don't grow since their bodies are dead. That's right. But before that, what's this thing? Oh, I forgot they did that. That's the scarecrow that took your place, Yoi-chan. It's a spitting image. Spitting, you say? I mean, other teachers passed by a couple of times and they never noticed. Really now. So what are we doing now? To put it simply, seeking the Ayakashi. Seeking the Ayakashi. So how indeed are we going to identify the Ayakashi from among us? I'm sorry. I just watched this month's Genshin voice actor Among Us stream last night, so Among Us on the brain. And I mean, they're trying to figure out who the imposter is. Okay. The way to stop an Ayakashi was to identify its cause of death, right? You got it. Putting together educated guesses will nail down the cause of death. That sounds pretty difficult to me. Yeah, it's a tricky situation, to be sure. Because it's not just who did it and how they died. Everything else is ambiguous, too. But we need to identify them today, or someone will die. Mr. Yoinara, what if we can't identify them? In that case, even I'll have a hard time coping. According to Rokuro, it sounds like they came to the classroom at some point, so I'm thinking I'll stay the night here. If I can catch sight of it, I should be able to suppress it with some rougher methods. Forceful measures, I see. Well then, it'd be a waste of time to keep prattling on about tedious stuff. Let's hold a whodunit trial. Huh? You mean the thing where you try to find who broke a vase or spilled some ink? Perfect fit, right? We're looking for a culprit right now. Though I know you love to use fancier words for things, Yoi-chan. Rude. There are an awful lot of mischief lovers in this class. I mean, children have more energy than anybody, right? The windows and walls at this school are much too brittle. No, Zero, you're just too powerful. Well, I think the format is easy enough to understand. Then as the class president, I'll direct the trial as usual. Here! Me! I'll direct it today! Huh? Why you, Rokuro? Just think about it, Kashima-chan. Who's suspected by the whole class, yet the most innocent right now? No need for any deep consideration. It would be the victim, Sir Rokuro, yes? You got it! And I should trust you because of that? Trust me, and just remember, have I ever lied to you outside of some sort of game, Kashima-chan? I'll leave directing to Rokuro today. Is that alright, Mr. Yoinara? Sure, I don't mind. But Rokuro, try not to say any more than you have to. When have I ever said too much? When haven't you? That's your reply, huh? Guess I'll have to force your mouth shut. Whoa, you trying to keep me down? Or are we talking violence? I'm saying it sounds like you're going to drag this discussion out. Relax, I'm not the type to take detours on the way to my destination. Alrighty, let's begin, Yoi-chan. Right. Now then, let's begin the whodunit trial. Stand, bow, be seated. This is nice. That's usually a privilege reserved for the class president. You're getting off topic already. I know. Well, as the victim, allow me to give my report first. Yep. Seat number 12, Rokuro Yamakagashi. Here's my report. On that day, I went straight home, then kicked back and thought about what fun stuff I'd be doing the next day. 'Twas eventide, as Yoi-chan would say it, when suddenly my head spun. And when I came to, I was here in this classroom. And even though I'd totally changed into loungewear, I was wearing my uniform. And then, while I was thinking to myself, what happened? Well, it happened in a blink. My guts and everything were saying hello from out of my stomach. After that, I could only think a single thought. Ah, I'm dying. Yep, like that. A black fog covered my vision. Pain was secondary at that point. Next thing I knew, I'd popped out of my own body. You might not get what I'm talking about, but even I didn't know what was going on, and I experienced it. Then I saw it. My crudely mutilated corpse. And Kashima-chan, standing at the back of the classroom, looking at my corpse just like I was. After that, my senses totally went, so it was pitch black. When I came to, I was at school with 0. Rokuro. What was that last part? My crudely mutilated corpse? No, after that. Kashima-chan was there looking at that corpse with me. Why didn't you mention this before? Because I had to air it. Words. Because I had to air it out in front of everyone like this. In investigations, it's pretty important where things get revealed, right? Made posts about this year's Angelic Pretty Halloween release. Nice. I will check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out after the stream. It's like a crime show, you know? You chase the culprit to a cliff and question him there. This classroom is that cliff, Yoi-chan. Though personally, I might call it a little slice of hell. I see. So after the report, any suspicious parties offer statements. I remember absolutely nothing. So you can say, but I remember. You're certain it was Kashima? Well, she had the most frighteningly icy look I'd ever seen on Kashima-chan. But the face, the hair, the height, it had to be Kashima-chan. Yep, no doubt. Kashima, calm down. Stay calm and tell me as much as you can remember about what you were doing. That's all you need to do for me right now. Yes, I understand. Seat number 1, Kashima Akebono, giving my statement. On that day, I went home without taking any real detours. At home, I did my homework, then did chores around the house. I ate dinner, had a bath, and got ready for tomorrow, and I slept. I believe I went to bed around 10 p.m. And the next day, it's as you already said, Mr. Yoinara. I came to school after Yuki. Yuki had collapsed. I contacted Iya, and she came right away, then brought you to us. That's all. Then it'd be impossible for you to attack me? It would seem an Ayakashi attacks when they lose control of themselves. When would they regain their senses? Well, like you say, they lose control. Often, the Ayakashi won't be able to move for a while after running amok. Ah, so I see. In that case, in order to have done it, she would need ample time to spare. Supposing everything Kashima-chan just said was true, that is. I'm not telling any lies here. Well, the last step is to get additional statements. If anyone has additional info or questions related to what those two just said, raise your hand and speak. Touch a student's icon to speak with them. If students have important things to say, you'll be able to ask for details. If you get stuck, select the question mark icon. Alright, let's start with Iya. We'll just go down the list. Hello, Wind! Welcome, welcome! Alright. I've got a statement about Kashima-chan. Since we agreed to hang out the next day, I wondered what she wanted to do, so I talked to her with the chat function on the phone. Of course, there's no tangible proof, since time's been set back, but I think we chatted at around 6 p.m. And around 9 p.m., we even did a final confirmation of our plans. So it seems Iya communicated with Kashima on that day. and the times are consistent with Kashima's statement. Mino? Too complicated for Mino. Alright, Riku. That day, well, I didn't have any particular contact with those two. Zero. I have a statement on Rokuro. Since our houses are close, we always go to and from school together. Yeah, it's called texting. And that he went straight home is the truth. There was no telling when it might rain again, after all. Seems Zero accompanied Rokuro home on the day in question. Still, I'm lacking evidence from around the time of the Ayakashi attack. Iya and Zero's additional statements should prove helpful to me. Now the question is which statement to link with who. Try selecting speakers and connecting statements. If you choose the right statement, you may be able to advance the discussion. Sorry, Mr. Yoinara. I remembered it again. Fair enough. Rokuro? You might not get what I'm talking about, but even I didn't know what was going on, and I experienced it. Then I saw it. A crudely mutilated corpse, and Kashima-chan standing at the back of the classroom, looking at my corpse just like I was. After that, yeah, he was saying the same thing. Link statements. Nope. Okay. Sasana. I lack juicy info this time around, so as such, you must count on someone else. Yuki. I fainted, so I don't remember much. Tina. I have a simple question. Did Madame Kashima ever have a chat at some point? Depending on the timing, I believe such a thing might fill a gap that would otherwise allow her to have committed the crime. Unfortunately, however, I care not for that kind of thing myself. What say you ask someone who might have talked with her? True, if there was someone who had a conversation with Kashima, then it would give her an alibi. Someone who might have a chat with Kashima, huh? We got it! Okay. Well, Kashima, on that day, I went home without taking any real detours. Yep. Alright, so we link Iya's statement with Kashima's. According to Iya, she was chatting with Kashima in the time frame Rokuro gave. Ah, right. We had chats about what we'd do tomorrow. Twice. Just like Kashima-chan says, at 6 p.m. we were having a chat. And also around 9 p.m. we had another to finalize our plans. Huh. If that's the truth, it might have been tough for Kashima-chan to kill me. Considering what Yoi-chan said earlier about Ayakashi being immobile after they run wild. Of course, even I wasn't convinced it was Kashima-chan because of the expression. Even if it looked like her, couldn't imagine that look on the real one's face. What? You mean? Huh. Hey, my report was just that you were looking at my corpse with me. I never said anything like Kashima-chan must be the killer, did I? What the hell? Hang on, Kashima. Why did you mention it at all then? I was just thinking if she was the killer, it'd be nice if I could make her slip up. I'm getting more concerned about letting Rokuro direct this by the second. Yeah, the music is good. Whoa, guess you're starting to regret letting me direct this, huh, Yoi-chan? You a mind reading Ayakashi or what? Nope. Besides, can Ayakashi kill other Ayakashi? No, they cling to life, so generally they wouldn't attack an Ayakashi who's already lost their life. Well, then it's 100% not me. Not 100%, but sure. In fact, you say cling to life. Are they the kind to kill again and again? Also, no. To put it simply, I guess I'd say they seek living bodies. Which is why not only killing someone, but reverting it like they did here is baffling to me. So they're just searching for somebody to take the place of. Then what was that Kashima Rokuro saw? There's a possibility emerging that it was an imposter! Imposter? There are technically Ayakashi that can alter their own appearance. I should get a soundboard set up. It is a shame that I was not able to play an Among Us sound effect right there. Hello. What's up? I have a kitty coming in here. What's up? Really? She's so baby. There are technically Ayakashi that can alter their own appearance. But if that's the case, they didn't just lose control of themselves. They attacked at least partially of their own volition. Or perhaps they created an illusion, or they have some special intelligence, or there's a third entity. There's 3 Ayakashis hiding with Mino? That sounds disastrous indeed. But if that were the case, I'd be curious why this all coincided to happen at the same time. Perhaps the timing of an Ayakashi losing control of themselves is fixed. Generally, it's said to occur after anywhere from 3 to 5 years. I'd be more willing to buy that they found collaborators and it was intentional. This is tough to unravel. All that aside, I wonder why it looked like Kashima-chan. Maybe because they figured she of all people might be liable to kill me? As if you don't think that yourself. Nah, I don't. Huh? The Kashima-chan I know wouldn't. Because you're such a coward, it'd be impossible. Is that it? That just gave me a thought. Are Ayakashi aware of being Ayakashi? Depends on the situation, but barring special circumstances, most don't realize it after they revive, and neither does anyone else. But most Ayakashi will eventually realize they're different from those around them due to their body not maturing. And in most cases, when they lose control, they snap out of it to find there's a corpse in front of them. At the very least, I suppose it's fair to conclude that the Ayakashi who attacked Rokuro was aware of killing him. That's right, I think it's very likely. In that case, we come to questions about why it rewound time, for instance. Rokuro rude and unreasonable. Yep, that's his entire thing. But bringing that up at present will just make things more confusing. Right now, I'd like to grasp a bit more about the identity of the Ayakashi. Our statements are just making 2 parallel lines at this rate. You went to get info, right, Yoi-chan? I was getting curious about that. Something about incidents, wasn't it? Yeah, in the past few years. And were there any cases of interest? The only one with a clear name was Riku Takaso, who experienced a near drowning in a river. It was premeditated, they got sick of his nonsense. Riku? True, I did nearly drown in a river a long time ago. But that was when I was 8 years old. If he stopped growing at 8, people would probably notice, huh? Indeed, Riku clearly looks to be the same age as us. It's a little hard to agree with someone as huge as Zero-kun saying it, but it also sounds like there was some incident with the Etupirka conglomerate. Tina, do you know anything about that? Oh my, I suppose you'd be referring to Father. Occupying such a high position as he does, I would not doubt he does his share of dirty deeds to maintain it. If I may offer a warning, Mr. Yoinara, you may find yourself put 6 feet under if you dig too deeply. Tina-chan? That's way too scary to be saying casually. There are many things in this world you are better off not knowing, you see. There's the bell! Class is over. But we don't know who the Ayakashi is. If we just go home, won't somebody die tomorrow? There's been no indication that someone will certainly die, however. By the same token, there's no guarantee we'll be safe either. There's even a chance I'll end up like that myself. And furthermore, it's possible the people beside us right now could be the killers. Do we just have to endure this suspicion and dread until they're found? And if we all split up, the story will get harder to put together. But what more can we do? A sense of impatience and weariness permeated the room. What can I say to calm my students down? Well, guess I'll say something then. Is there something else you haven't been telling us? Nah, I just thought of it now. If you're really among us, attack me again tonight, dear Ayakashi. Hey now, Rokuro, what are you even saying? I was just curious, plain and simple, about whether they care to listen to us. They've probably got control of themselves right now, so they'll understand me, right? That's not what I... Wait. In that case, you can attack me too. Don't worry, teacher. I have faith in my sturdiness. I won't die that easily. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. You guys don't have to do what I was going to do. Mr. Yoinara, you mean... I decided I would stay here tonight. So if you're gonna attack me. Are you strong, Mr. Yoinara? Versus an Ayakashi? Sure. But see, if I were an Ayakashi, I definitely wouldn't attack Yoi-chan. Because it's obvious you'd just get smacked down, right? If they're acting with intent, then yeah, that's true. But when they lose control, an Ayakashi makes a beeline for whatever life is in front of them. And my mother always told me I've got a tendency to attract Ayakashi due to some special aspect of my bloodline. I've got a powerful barrier to protect my bed at home, but today I'll be in an empty classroom. I just hope I'll be able to see something about the Ayakashi's intentions. Guess that's how it is. Everybody go home and rest easy. As if we can feel relieved, you don't need to be sacrificed either. I'm the one who's got experience being a sacrifice, you know? So listen to your superiors. And if I really die, you're free to cry for me again. I didn't cry! Calm down, Kashima-chan. Hey, why don't we all head home together, at least part of the way? Sure. Indeed, that may be a good idea. I suppose that may ease our minds a bit. See you, Mr. Yoinara. Right. Excuse me, a moment. After Rokuro's remarks, the students' earlier unrest appeared to have been diminished, if only slightly. By no means was anything certain, but maybe they felt the chances of me being attacked had lessened. As ironic as that may sound. Now, here begins the real battle. After that, I went and bowed my head to the principal. And with the claim that I'd keep watch due to there being lots of mischief lately, I got permission to stay the night. As a matter of fact, though, there had been plenty of damages caused by wild animals. At night, the feel of this building really turns into something eerie. There's the graveyard nearby to boot. 11 p.m. had already passed, but I hadn't even seen a trace of tumult. I was concerned whether Rokuro, the incarnation of having too much energy, would break in or something. But if I haven't seen him yet, maybe that was a needless worry. Still, should I look around elsewhere? Where should I patrol? Can I save here? No, I cannot. Alright. First, second, or third floor? First, second, or third floor. Third? Alright. The third floor was home to the library, and a set of classrooms used by the student council and other clubs. Same brain cell, yeah. Well, I say a set of classrooms. With the low number of students here, there seem to be many unused ones. Yeah, it's wild that a school as tiny as this one has 3 floors. I want to say someone mentioned a time when the first, second, and third floors all had classrooms for each grade. Even if there aren't many students, the school still has a fair selection of clubs, doesn't it? I felt like someone had just said my name. But looking all around, I didn't sense anyone there. Just misheard, I guess. Eh? Did something just grab my arm? I rolled up my sleeve to check my arm. There wasn't any sign of a handprint on it. Oh yeah, I don't know when it's coming up. I don't remember exactly what decisions trigger it, but, warning for jump scares during this section. Strange. It felt like it was grabbed pretty forcefully. Eh? It definitely felt like I've just made eye contact with something. But all that was in front of me was my shadow, facing opposite me. Was that just my imagination? I'll go back to the second-year classroom. I finished my patrol and returned to the 2-1 classroom. I didn't observe anything different about the room since I'd left it. Would be nice if this ends with nothing happening. But even nothing happening is just stirring up my unease. Would I really be able to see the morning without incident? I'll stay awake and keep watch until... See, I remembered going through all 3 of those different options, but I think I just kind of went back and went through them all individually. Huh? Ara. Mr. Yoinara? Are you okay? You looked like you were having a nightmare. You're sweating a ton, Mr. Yoinara. Did you really stay in the classroom? It's so humid lately. What time is it? About 8:30 a.m. Mr. Yoinara, water. Thanks, Yuki. Usually do fine with jump scares. It's just certain loud noises you can't handle. If there are any alarm noises, let you know. I don't think there will be any alarm noises, but I will keep that in mind. Is today Friday? Yeah, it is. There was no hanged corpse. I see. My shoulders went limp. Nothing had happened today. You seem relieved, Mr. Yoinara, but... Well, of course. I'm relieved to see you unhurt. Are you the only ones here at school right now? Yeah, we are. Yuki got here before we did. I have to replace the water for the flowers, that's why. And I got here after her, I think? Have you received any contact from the other students? Huh? No, not really. Maybe we should head outside. Morning, Mr. Yoinara. Mr. Yoinara, morning. Hey, good morning. Just as I got to my feet, the other students filed into the classroom. It's almost time to begin our homeroom, or our morning homeroom. Whew, I was on pins and needles, but it's only natural to be after a thing like that happened. I was a little scared to come to. The rain had grown even stronger than yesterday as well. I straight up overslept. Mino too. I see. First of all, take your seats. Now Mr. Yoinara, something smells funny. 'Cause I've been in this classroom since yesterday. Haven't bathed either. Didn't mean you, Mr. Yoinara. It's from there. There? My gaze turned to where Mino pointed. It was the locker where the cleaning supplies were kept. Smell? What kind of smell? Just the smell of the rain? Nothing at all like rain. Wordlessly, I approached the locker. The students watched me approach, unmoving from their seats. As I put my hand on the locker, sweat ran down it. There was still someone missing from this classroom. The last person, Kashima, came falling out of the locker. I hurried to catch her, but like Rokuro the day before, the body was covered with gruesome wounds. Hey! Yuki and Haito fainted. Mr. Yoinara, is Kashima dead? Does it need to be asked? It's all too clear to see. But, Mr. Yoinara, you stayed here all night. But when we arrived, he'd passed out. Yeah, that's true. Monokuma voice. A body has been discovered! Hey, there's something written on the back of the locker door. On the back? It says, "Come here." Writing in blood? Such poor taste. What in the world? What do you want? Mr. Yoinara? Someone's coming. Carrying my momentum from running, I barged into the classroom. The students all turned to face me with surprised expressions. Mr. Yoinara. It looks to me like things got set back again. If that's the case, everyone should already be at school. That was loud. Yeah, it was. I apologize. Kashima's not here. Kashima. If you seek Madame Kashima, she promptly ran out of the classroom. I'm not aware where she may have gone. Mino knows Kashima's scent. Mino, seriously, are you a dog? Do you? Then please. Ow! I suppose she is a dog. What's that howling Mino does supposed to be about? You know, she can howl so naturally, I didn't even question it until now. Huh? You guys didn't know? See, about Mino. There's nobody to question, hello? I need to go after Kashima. Ah, this is as far as you can currently play. Please wait for the next update. So, that is the end of Chapter 1. Like I said last time, there has been absolutely no word about Chapter 2 for years. I don't know if Miwashiba is still working on it. Mino was raised by wolves. Honestly, probably. Seriously though, Miwashiba, please, I want to continue playing this. I want to see what happens next. It's been years. Miwashiba, please. But yeah, so that was chapter 1. Even just in this unfinished first section here, it does a very good job of building up the mystery, I think. I really like it. And I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Seeing as we've hit the end, we're gonna have to wrap up here. How do I get back to the home screen? What was I gonna say? So yeah, gonna wrap up here. I will get next week's schedule out sometime tonight or tomorrow, but I will say right now, Monday and Tuesday are not going to be pain of a permanent cliffhanger. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday are not going to be the regular weekly stuff, cause Monday I am going to do Spiral Abyss and probably that combat event as well. And then Tuesday I am thinking of doing a Halloween special, like a 6-hour stream, just play a bunch of horror games. So do look forward to that. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to push the weekly stuff back to later in the week, or if I'm just going to do it off camera. So you'll see when I get the schedule up. So yeah, thank you to everybody who stopped by, and I hope to see you all next time.